Hi Virgos. We are starting with the Page of Chalices, Cups, the Page of Water. On the bottom of the deck, we'll see if that resurfaces for us. Virgos, I hope that you are all enjoying your summer. I hope you're enjoying Cancer season 2019. And now specifically July 2019. Even more specifically, we are looking at mid-July 2019 and these two readings. Now I'm going to flip these out facing me at first, Virgos, but I will spin them around and let you take a look with me as well. And I am doing two readings for you. I sincerely missed doing a June reading for you, Virgo, so we are doing two today, two mid-July readings, looking at first a general spread for you, which I'm laying out now, and then a reading that's more specifically focused on your love lives. Now this is for Virgos, suns, moons, rising, Venus, Mars, or Virgos of any kind. Perhaps you came across this reading by happen chance, just felt drawn here for any reason, the title, etc., etc. That's fine too. Or perhaps you are cross-watching because you are terribly interested in a Virgo energy. That's always fine. In any case, for the general reading so far, Virgos, we are looking at the Four of Earth and the Magician. I see Virgos currently in a space of trying to hold on to what they have in some way, shape, or form. And I think to your detriment, Virgos. This is a very Virgo card, but showing up reversed. The Queen of Coins here, the Queen of Earth. You are, of course, mutable Earth, Virgo. And when your ego is quiet and your crowning thoughts, your higher self, your higher mind knows that trying to hold on so tightly to what you have at this time is, in fact, what's making you a little bit insecure, making you a little bit anxious, making you feel unstable, even though you're trying so hard to hold on to everything in order to stabilize it, right? We are also using the Game of Thrones Tarot today, Virgos. If you're interested in this deck or any of the decks that I use in Lunartics Tarot readings, all you have to do is scroll down to the description to check out that information. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can also find a playlist that will consist of a link to a playlist that consists of all of the copyright-free music that you hear in the background if you do hear it. It's free. It's all free. I think I have like 50, 55 somewhat ambient songs on there now. Great to me, you know, for my personal taste. Great for laying cards too. But back to your general reading, Virgos. I'll stop shaking everything soon. I'm just readjusting to a slightly altered setup here. And here's the rest of your reading. This is just a slightly abbreviated Celtic cross that I've laid out for you. So even though, yeah, Virgos, even though you are trying very hard to hold on to your resources, maybe your money, your time, you may be very protective of your time. You actually are crossed with someone, and it may very well be yourself, in a state of having all of the tools that they need to manifest whatever they so choose. Now, oftentimes that individual, this Magician card, still does need to choose what it is that they would like to manifest when it shows up for me. You may also, some of you, be dealing with an Aries, of course, specifically, perhaps, yes. And in that case, maybe an Aries that you need to be finished mourning, Virgos, if that's the case. It looks like in the near future, You might be moving into a space of kind of crying over spilt milk, mourning a little too long, or needing to realize that you didn't lose this person entirely, that Aries entirely. Maybe you can't be in a relationship any longer, but you can still be friends. Maybe you can't work together any longer, but you can still be friends. Maybe you can't live together any longer, but you can still be friends, right? So just for those of you who are specifically dealing with an Aries, but a lot of you, this is, as I said, you or someone close to you who has all of the tools to manifest whatever it is that they need, or whatever it is that they want. And it's just a matter of choosing what it is that you want to apply those tools to manifesting. Now, some of you are protecting your boundaries because of some insecurity, some anxiety, and feeling feeling anxious, maybe due to that Aries, right? Some of you, this is representing you protecting your boundaries and making yourself feel secure in that way. And I'm not saying there's anything unadvisable about protecting one's boundaries. I love when the Four of Earth shows up in terms of someone who is protective of their boundaries. We all should be. The more intuitive, the more sensitive you are, especially, we really have to remember to protect our boundaries. And I see that in the root of the situation. I see this feminine queen, this feminine water queen, the Queen of Chalices, Queen of Cups, mirroring the Queen of Earth up here for you Virgos. So let you look at this reading with me. I'll flip these cards around for you and we'll get back to it. So Virgos, what I did not say at the beginning of your reading, these are facing you now, of course. What I did not say at the beginning of your reading, but I will put in the title of the video, is that this second half of July 2019, these last couple of weeks of the month, I as really, it's the same as the whole month in terms of what I'm about to say, but especially the second half of the month, I'm sure that this energy will be very much about or pertaining to how that lunar eclipse that we just had yesterday when the moon was full in Capricorn, how it affects you, Virgos, the effect that it has on you. So what I'm seeing is with this Queen of Cups, with this emotional water queen in the root of the situation, is that you have been feeling that energy, the eclipse energy, eclipse season 2019. I've heard it spoken of as. You've been feeling that for a while, since this is the root of the situation. Throughout the month, even in the month prior, we've all been able to feel this eclipse season coming, and those effects will last into next year even. So very potent, and it has put you Virgos very much in your emotions, which I think is why we see this queen mirrored, reflected with this anxiety and instability and insecurity that's here in the upside down Queen of Earth in your crowning thoughts. I think it is having been put so much in your emotions. Now that's going to talk a lot about your moon sign. Maybe you're here because you are a Virgo moon. Maybe Virgo is your sun and you have a different moon sign, and you may want to watch that one as well. Also, I did a pick a card reading. I can't remember exactly what the title is, but it's something about the effects of eclipse season 2019, or I think it was how are the eclipses, how is the eclipse energy transforming us, right? So yeah, that's a pick a card reading that's available that you may want to check out if you're still trying to suss out exactly what this eclipse energy is doing to you, exactly what kind of effects it's having on you and your path, Virgos. But what I see is that it puts you very much in your emotions, turned you inward, made you either feel a lot more empathetic than normal, or has you celebrating those qualities, those characteristics. And for some of you, has you celebrating the characteristics of being some type of mystic, being some type of intuitive, doing some type of intuitive work, certainly being some type of healer, energetically or otherwise, tending to others' emotions and healing. recognizing the benefits of how healing others heal you. It's definitely turned you inward and has had you in a place of celebrating your feelings, your emotions, your emotional self, and your ability to showcase empathy for others, whether you identify as an empath or not. But a lot of you with the Queen of Cups showing up in just a short, small spread do. But still, those emotions, with Mercury retrograde upon you at the same time as eclipse season 2019, those emotions had you thinking about people from your past or situations, energies from your past that weren't exactly the worthiest of associates for you. Okay, stuck in memories. For a lot of you, recent memories of someone that really that wasn't healthy for you to be around, or it's certainly not healthy for you now to be obsessed with those memories from your recent past. And that may very well be connected to what or whom it is that you're trying to hold on to here, Virgos. It may be those memories from your past, those places, those habits, those energies, those people, or that person. That may be what it is you're trying so hard to hold on to. For a lot of you, though, this is speaking about, as I said, trying to hold on to something that is material, something that is tangible. But see, it can just go either way, because if it was a person or people that you were around, then they were tangible, right? It is something that was physically in your reality that you'd like to stay. So again, whether we're talking about holding on to your time, holding on to your money, holding on to people, as always, the tighter we try to hold on, the easier it is for them to then slip through our fingers. And as always, with the message with the Four of Coins, again, if you're protecting your boundaries, I just don't think that's what we see here. If you're just solely protecting your boundaries, then that's beautiful. It's amazing, and don't let me sway you in another direction. But if we're talking about trying to hold on to time or money or something that you can physically touch, Virgos, then the problem with trying to let's use money as an example. Say that I am not going to spend any of my money, is that then nothing flows out. Everything works in a cyclical motion. So in order for things to flow back in, you have to allow some to flow out, right? You do have to spend money to make money. That is true. But we could be talking about your time, your energy, any other resources, or trying to hold on to a person, and by allowing, the same, we can do a different analogy with a person. By the same token, if a person feels smothered, and if a person feels that they can't escape, then from your grasp, or it could be vice versa, Virgos, but if a person feels like they can't escape from your grasp, then they're going to want to wiggle free. If you give a person room to feel free, love them in a way that makes them feel free, well, then they're more liable to stay, because this is a space where they can be themselves, and they can be free, and they're free to come, and they're free to go, right? And so the same rule really applies. Trying to hold on too tightly can actually cause you to not be able to hold on to what it is that you want. Our music has paused. Give me one more second. I can't remember exactly where we were at, Virgos, but in any case, this may be reversed, right? So someone here in the recent past may have been feeling suffocated, smothered by the situation. When we see the Six of Cups in reverse here, the Six of Water, chalices here. I know this isn't the kindest angle, by the way, but I hope you can kind of see what we're looking at. And so, yeah, if it wasn't you, Virgos, it may have been somebody that you were dealing with. If it was you that was feeling smothered, then what I do see is this progression of you having found empathy for yourself, getting in tune with your emotional body, your emotional awareness, being very intuitive about your own situation, and then realizing, I feel suffocated and smothered by something. Maybe it wasn't Aries. I wouldn't get too hung up on the signs, though. Regardless, now you are protecting your boundaries. If it's somebody else that you were dealing with, Virgos, then it is likely, then it could be that they felt smothered. It could be, but it is likely more a progression of what I'm seeing in this reading on the table today anyway is a progression of you being very emotional, and then, like I said, Mercury retrograde putting you into memories of the past, memories of somebody who wasn't exactly good for you, needing to protect your boundaries, but also probably simultaneously holding tightly to all of your energy, all of your resources, which, like I said, can be a vicious cycle, can be exactly why you then feel insecure, unstable, anxious, because you may be feeling just not like yourself, since it's the Queen of Earth reversed too, out of character, because in order to let energy flow in, whether it's money or anything else, you have to allow some energy to flow out. And we've got the Hierophant on the bottom of the deck, sort of blanketing the meaning of the reading, Virgos. And I think I do want one clarifier on that. That can be something untraditional showing up for us. Perhaps this is all speaking to some type of a commitment, maybe even a marriage that did not end up going through, that did not end up happening. It may be speaking to the reason that a marriage is in question, at least, right? But for others, especially since I said the love reading is going to be our second reading, we really are talking about you trying to hold on too tightly to finances and resources. You know, if you're very much in your emotions and you're thinking about an ex or anything else from your past that is disappointing, that wasn't healthy for you, that Mercury retrograde has you thinking about, then again, those feelings of anxiousness and insecurity could make you think that you need to hold very tightly to everything in your life that you stand to lose, that you don't want to, right? And when in fact, like I just explained, that really just isn't the way the energy is going to flow as far as abundance being in your life. Yeah, somebody here, you or someone else actually may be pushing for a marriage or a deeper commitment within some type of relationship. Could be work-related, friend-related, but it could be romantic. That does happen, even though I designate the second reading to be for love. The cards like to you know, do what makes them happy. So, for some of you Virgos, one or the other of you is just not ready for that type of commitment, and we see that blanketing the reading, just not ready. A false start to some type of commitment is what I see blanketing the reading. And yet someone here does have all of the tools that they need to manifest what they want, unless you are one of the Virgos specifically dealing with an Aries, like I said. Then we see Aries energy crossing you. And in that case, like I said, I really do think that may be who it is that wasn't good for you from your past. Wasn't good for you from your past. In any case, confusing though this general may have been, we'll move forward into the near future and then the more distant outcome of the situation. Whatever it is that you are stuck thinking about from your past, in the near future, it really is time to stop mourning that loss, Virgos, and maybe to recognize that you don't need to leave behind all that you feel like you lost. As I said, this person, this energy, Aries or not, whatever it is that you're thinking about your past or whomever, it's not to say that it has to be out of your life forever for good. It's possible that there's something about the connection, something about what it is that you can't quit thinking about that doesn't need to be lost. This card reverse does also say don't leave behind more than you lost. And so that's going to be specific to you, whether or not it's something that you can still have in your life or not. And if you can move beyond that point, if you can cease mourning where mourning has been completed, mourning is done, where due time has already been given to that activity, and or perhaps allow yourself to take an honest look at what it is that doesn't have to leave your life completely just because you have lost much, right? or what it is that you may be ignoring as she ignores those 3 cups behind her, or is it 2 cups? Yeah, in this one it's 2 cups that's left standing, but still, as she ignores what she still has in her life, you know, maybe take an honest look at what is still in your life, which can bring one out of a state of mourning, right? If you can move through that space in the near future, if you can cut off mourning where it's gone on too long, if you can recognize what you still have left that you haven't been focusing on, then we move on to that 2 of fire, this 2 of wands, where you are creating your own destiny. You have such powerful potential to use your free will to make decisions about your life and the direction you want to take it in, and it is actually literally directly shaping your future. You are using your free will. We always have potential to and access to it, but so often we are acting on preferences that were instilled in us in our childhood, copycatting things from our past, whether distant or recent, playing out scenes from past lives, or daydreams that we'd like to see come to fruition. So often we're influenced by other energies, both connected to us and completely external and separate from us, that we think is our free will, when in fact we are just deeply influenced by something else. But when the 2 of wands, when the 2 of fire here, the 2 of spears in this deck shows up for me, this is somebody who's got powerful potential to create direction and make decisions in their lives, because they're accessing that free will. And again, just to repeat myself, they are creating their destiny by doing so with their choices. Now, you can create your destiny by refusing to make a choice, by failing to notice that you're in charge of it. But I see you moving into this beautiful space of being a creator and choosing your direction, choosing what you want to be. And it may just be a matter of divine timing that you just weren't ready to do that yet, Virgos. With the Ace of Wands here in reverse, the Ace of Fire in reverse. Like I said, that's a false start. Someone just being just not ready. Or a dual message, even though the next one was supposed to be, the second one is supposed to be the love reading today, is that there's some passion, maybe some sexual energy missing from a marriage, and that could be a big part of why it is in question, why it is on its head, so to speak, with the Hierophant reversed here, why it requires some attention if it is to be maintained. And I think that's true even if we're talking about a commitment that you made just to yourself, Virgos, to your work, to your money, to your business, right? To your passions. I think it's a matter of you've made a commitment to this thing, but you just haven't been ready to move from the Ace of Wands state to the creating one's destiny, choosing the next step, choosing the next direction, choosing where the path then leads. And that commitment is somewhat in question and requires your attention, regardless of whether we're talking about a marriage or not, your commitment to that activity, because there's been some passion lacking, again, because, you know, your energy has just been turned inward toward your emotions, likely, rather than outward toward any project that you're working on, whether it's related to another individual or just your own activities, Virgos. So this reading has been a lot longer than I meant it to be, as they always are. We will move on to your love reading now. I do hope that the needed insight was able to reach you there, as always, Virgos. Very interesting to see what comes through for everybody at this time, as we are, as I said, you know, dealing with both a Mercury retrograde energy currently and the eclipse energy of July 2019. Should we use this deck again? Yeah, we'll use this deck again, Virgos. Just let me do some little bit of shuffling for us here. This one is going to have to be just a little bit shorter, since I went longer than I meant to in the general. Now that Mercury retrograde, since we were talking about it, the post shadow begins on the 1st of next month, meaning we've still got the shadow period, the post-shadow period of Mercury retrograde in the first half of August. So, you know, any traveling or technological communication related issues, I would expect them to flesh out, to start acting right mid-August, in about a month from now, Virgos, if that's something that's been on your mind. Not to mention August in general, I have heard astrologically, August in general, I have heard astrologically speaking, is going to be kinder, is going to be easier for us. The sun moves into Leo on the 22nd, Virgos. I'm sure most of you know that. And you've got the Devil energy showing up as your first card in your love reading today, Virgos. Again, we'll use the other deck, which was the Radiant Rider-Waite, to draw clarifiers if we need them. We'll see what comes through for us. And again, just like in the general, I will flip these around to face you after I get a good hold on the reading. So that could be Capricorn energy coming through. I already threw Aries out there, but that was the general. This is the love. Some of you may be dealing with a Capricorn specifically, or Capricorn energy in your own chart. I don't even mean to say dealing with, but, you know, closely interacting with, Virgos. Crossed with the Queen of Swords, but reversed. So again, an energy of being a little obsessed with what has gone down in your past. And again, perhaps with a fire sign that's crowning the reading, that's on your mind when your ego is quiet. Now there's Leo energy in the root of the situation. So I said Aries. Now I also see Leo, and with it being the King of Fire, that can also be Sagittarius energy. This Queen of Swords reversed always reminds me so much of you, Virgos. That's an air sign card, so that would be Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. But it just feels so much like a Mercury-ruled card, which you are. You are, Virgos. You certainly seem like the airiest earth sign to me. Very cerebral, very logical. There's something about being a perfectionist that seems in line with that. You're very mental, again, ruled by Mercury, the planet of communication. And so that can have a lot to do with what's going on with you personally as well, since Mercury is in retrograde. That's the planet, that's your ruling planet, Virgos. So perhaps it's very fitting that the Six of Cups reversed and now the Queen of Cups reversed shows up, saying in general, whether we're talking about a general reading, whether we're talking about work, whether we're talking about love, Virgos are looking back. Virgos are obsessed with what has happened in their past right now. And currently that might be a problem because you may have some type of codependent situation happening in your love life or relationship. And I try to make these love readings for both singles and couples. I try to speak to both messages, but oftentimes what comes through is a message for someone who does have a love interest in mind. And that's not to say that these readings can never speak to someone who does not. But why would you be watching your love reading unless you were at least interested in who your future love may be? So in that case, they could be speaking to a connection that you will have with someone who you're hoping to bring in. In this case, with the Devil card, I really do feel like we're either talking about a Capricorn that you all are closely interacting with, involved with your love life, or, as I said, some type of addiction, normally in a love reading, in a relationship situation, a codependency. Or some of you are dealing with addictions of different sorts that are overwhelming and overtaking and probably greatly disturbing your love life and any relationship you might or do have currently. With the Hangman in the recent past, I get the feeling that a lot of you have been waiting on someone, sacrificing yourself for the relationship, sacrificing yourself for the possibility, the potential of the two of you coming back together. but I really get the sense here that you feel chained to this person. Okay, but another Capricorn card is coming up with the 8 of Coins there. So we can also be talking about the sign of Capricorn, the lunar eclipse having been in Capricorn. I'm going to sit with these for just a minute, flip them around towards you, put the planets placements in front of me. I want to look at where the planets are today as we go into this, and then we will talk in detail a lot more about this. Okay, Virgos, it seems that you have taken such good care of yourself this summer, maybe this year, maybe this lifetime, right? It seems that in the root of the situation, you have shown yourself unconditional love to the extent that you may feel like it's okay if your partner does not, or other loving energies in your life. You may feel like it's all right if you have to wait on them to show up for you the way you've shown up for them. With the Strength card here in the root of the situation, that is speaking of, to me, unconditional love for mind, body, and spirit, including your emotional body in there, right? And Virgos, that's what I see coming through clearly. I think you've just done such a good job for yourself that now recently you found yourself, like I said, sacrificing what you need, sacrificing the role you want to play or how you want to be treated in your relationship, perhaps, or sacrificing needing one at all if you're a single Virgo that's been taking very good care of themselves, sacrificing needing one at all, or for others sacrificing needing to be treated a right way, and at least for a time you're willing to wait. This is a sort of a martyr's energy here with the hangman showing up, especially this particular version since it's the flayed man here in the Game of Thrones tarot. And this person is at peace, serene and at peace, even though they seem to be martyred. But I do think it's you that's been sacrificing is what's coming through here in some way. Maybe for, like I said, a fire sign of sorts, since it's the King of Wands up here. But if you've been sacrificing having a relationship altogether because you've been treating yourself so well that you have felt like you really don't need one, then you are now codependent on something else, likely some type of business, some type of work, or some other relationship in your life as a result, okay? And it's unhealthy, it's toxic, it's too much. You're too chained to this thing. You're too dependent on it. It is like a codependency. It is like an addiction. For others of you, if we're just talking about you dealing with Capricorn energy, you really need to look where what planets in your chart are placed in Capricorn. Where Saturn is in your chart. Saturn is in Capricorn still currently, and it is retrograde as well, like Mercury, like Jupiter, like Neptune, like Pluto, the true node, Chiron. Yeah, all of those things. We have seven significant places retrograde now, right? So more retrograde. And considering that Mercury is one of them, it's not unusual that you aren't feeling like yourself right now, Virgo, and we said that in the general reading, we said that in the first one, that you are feeling turned toward and focused on, and even for some obsessed with the past. But again, yeah, if this is just speaking to Capricorn energy for you, you really need to investigate what that looks like in your chart. So life-changing. So it just revolutionizes your life, Virgos, truly. And especially if you're not feeling like yourself because of all this energy, it's a perfect time to get to know thyself better. But for those of you who are in a codependent situation, and we're not talking about you sacrificing having a relationship altogether, we're talking about you sacrificing having the kind of relationship that you want, having the kind of treatment from your partner that you really need and deserve here, Virgos. And it's become a codependency. They love taking what you give them, you love giving to them. And you aren't feeling like yourself because of it. And the fact that the Queen of Swords is showing up in reverse and that you are putting up with that you can continue to sacrifice for this codependency, so that you can continue to give to someone who simply loves to take from you, Virgos, that is proof positive, even without the Queen of Swords in reverse, but certainly with it, that you are not seeing things completely clearly right now. not yourself, not the situation, not your life, certainly not the relationship, if that's what we're looking at here. And like I said, we have more planets in retrograde than not. So a lot of people aren't feeling like themselves. A lot of people need to refocus. A lot of people need to gnaw through these damn chains. What are you chained to and why? For you, Virgos, if it's a person that you're chained to, if you are in a relationship chained to this person, then I think what we're talking about is the fact that you are afraid of your own success. With the World card showing up in reverse, you, instead of retreating into meditation, which Mercury being in retrograde is a perfect time for all of us to retreat into meditation, to get back in touch with old projects from our past, maybe to give second chances to people from our past, yes, but you're obsessed with the past. I think you're obsessed with what you used to have with this person. And instead of retreating into meditation or retreating into old projects, you're retreating into the way things used to be with that person. And lately, they haven't been the same. It's been more of a codependency where you like to give and they like to take. And so you've been taking care of yourself for a while. And you're still willing to wait even recently and continue to sacrifice while you wait for that distant past that you used to have with them to resurface, to come back, right, Virgos? And the reason you're doing that, the reason you're retreating into the past and retreating into a relationship that's more like an addiction and a codependency and that isn't even really healthy and good for you, is because if you don't retreat into that, if you get away from it, if you tell yourself, okay, this isn't what's for me, this isn't what's healthiest, then you're going to have to focus on what you're passionate about. What kind of work do you want to do in the world? What kind of work are you doing in the world? What do you want to create? What's your passion project that you haven't even put on the table yet, that you haven't even let anybody see yet? What's that thing you're afraid to do? That's the reason why you can't let go of this codependency, why you can't let yourself see yourself clearly. You can't retreat into meditation, which is so healthy for us during Mercury retrograde. It's like the planets, the multiverse, the divine, it's like they designed it for that. Well, throw them on Mercury retrograde every now and then so that their tech won't work, their communication won't work, so that they have no choice to sometimes retreat into meditation, because that's what we need. That's what we need as creatures. We need to be doing it every day, all the time. But some of you can't let yourself retreat into meditation because you can't let you be alone with you right now long enough to realize, oh, if I'm acting like myself, if I'm really continuing to unconditionally love myself the way I have been doing for a while, then the truth be told, I can't stick with this codependency. And so then what am I going to do? Oh, well, I'm going to focus on me, and I'm going to focus on what scares the fucking living shit out of me. You've got some big projects, but it's going to be a lot of work. It's going to earn you rewards and income. It will pay the bills. It will give you payment. And then this isn't, the 10 of Pentacles or the King of Pentacles, but the 8 of Pentacles is working and seeing return for that work. But it might be monotonous, long hours. Maybe you're writing a book, Virgos, or maybe just deep down in the pit of your heart and soul you want to, and you know that you can, but you're scared. You're scared of how long it's going to take, or that you'll fail, or that you'll succeed with the World card in reverse. A lot of times that's being scared of our own success. Who do I have to be to live up to that success? How many more novels am I going to be expected to write? How many more tarot videos am I going to be expected to make? Can I get them all out? Can I get them all out on time? It's scary. I'm going to have to be somebody who can live up to that success then, and I don't know if I can do that part. But you can. You will be the person who achieved the success. So whatever you decide to do with it afterwards, that's part of who you are as well. And you have been loving yourself so unconditionally that you've led yourself to a point where you feel like, I don't even need a partner to love me right, or I don't need a partner who's loving me right? Whether you're single or with somebody, you've been sacrificing, you've been taking such good care of yourself that you've been willing then to sacrifice and say, I don't even need a partner who treats me right. Because I can do it. I got this. And like I said, you're not seeing things clearly. There's so many planets in retrograde. A lot of you probably should check out where Saturn and Capricorn are in your chart, but you do, some core, honest, authentic part of you does know that this codependency needs to be released, whatever that codependency is with, that you're ready to be an entrepreneur of sorts, to be the boss of your business in some way, shape, or form, to socialize with other people again and look for a partner who can treat you right, right? And to not be so afraid of the success that you will inevitably see if you start focusing on creating it. Yes, it may take some hard work. Yes, it may take some time. Maybe the returns that you get for that type of artwork or whatever type of work it is are going to be measly at the beginning in comparison to what you want for yourself or what you have known for yourself. But that doesn't mean it's not worth doing. It's in your heart and soul. It's showing up on the table. It's the reason that you're retreating into things that aren't healthy for you because you're so scared, and you've got to follow that fear. That fear tells us where we want to be. Why are you so scared of that success? Because it's what you really want. Why are you so scared to see if you can live up to it and live up to being the type of person who can maintain it? Because it's what you really want. So that's very clear and just gorgeous, Virgos. I hope you can see all these. I know that's not the kindest angle ever. But then you also had the Four of Cups showing up upright, blanketing the reading. So very quickly, just an additional message, that blanketing message here. This is your opportunity to, again, retreat into meditation, to look at what you really want, to look at what you really deserve, to look at what needs to be released, and look at what you're scared of. Inevitable success. Hard work, but inevitable success that you're afraid of here in your future. It's time to look at that. And currently, the reason you need this reading, what's coming up, is currently you aren't taking that opportunity. It's a fated opportunity. And you're not emotionally fulfilled. And that's why you need to take a look at this fated opportunity, Virgos, that you're just letting pass you by. You, like I said, you're retreating into something that's more like an addiction rather than into the meditation that would tell you all of this without you even needing to come to the reading. But if you do need a private reading, if this wasn't specific enough for you, just scroll down to the description box below. I'm happy to help you out. There are links and all the information you need there, as well as my email, which is LunarticksTarot@gmail.com. I'm happy to work with you that way. If you'd rather send an email than follow a link, that works for me as well. Thank you so much for all of your support to Lunartics Tarot. All the orders and comments and messages and likes and subscribes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And especially to those of you who have been donating. It's so appreciated. And that link is right down below as well if you'd like to donate to help me keep the channel going. So thank you, everyone. And I hope that you will make wise choices for yourself, not for this other person, not for this relationship, not for this fear, but for your authentic self moving forward, Virgos. I love you, and I will post another reading for you just as soon as I can.